Hey guys, long time no see. I got caught up in life a little bit and haven't had a chance to make a video. Today I had a coworker ask me to sharpen a knife for him, and so I figured what better opportunity to get back in the swing, let you guys know I'm doing all right, and um, sharpen this sweet little knife from him. As you can see, it has his initials carved into it, and on the other side it says "Love, Dad." So I thought that was very sweet. You can tell it's well loved, well carried. He said he used to carry it all the time. I thought I thought it was kind of funny carrying a skinning knife, but the best knife there is the knife you actually have on you. So we'll see if we can get it sharpened up for him, get it returned back to him. I'm not going to touch any of the scratches, just his character. I feel like he's gonna love seeing that the knife had been used rather than trying to get something polished up. I mean, not that I have tools to get it brand new, but I know that he would love that. Before we get into that, I want to talk about the Migron Carrick that I snapped my pocket clip off of mine. I wonder if I still have the piece. Nope, looks like I threw it away. But I was walking next to an I-beam. It got caught, completely snapped off. Cheap little pot metal. Still love the knife. But um, you can take one of your budge out Ozark Trail knives that you get for $10 at Walmart and temporarily throw it on there. Um, I think this is a sweet little for $10. I didn't really care about the knife, and so I wrapped mine in copper tape, and that's why it looks so goofy. Pretty fun, but yeah, I don't carry that, so I still pocket clip, and I thought that was just a fun little tidbit. I've been carrying that Migron for a while now to test out the blade steel since it's 63, 62 HRC D2 and a soda box, like a 24 can soda box. I cut two of those up into shreds, ribbons. So a lot of cuts. And I gotta say, I expected more. And that's kind of on me because, in my experience, D2 holds an edge for a long time, but it doesn't hold a razor sharp edge. And that thing came razor sharp. So my thought process is that it finally kind of hit its point where it's going to maintain for a while. This one, and it got rid of the razor edge and just kind of sitting in an idle. Still pretty sharp, but here I'll show you. But I expected more for 63 HRC D2, but we'll see. Could also been burned up from the factory. I'll make a video on that when I go sharpen that. But back to my coworker's knife. Today I got a new stone, the Sharpall 325 and 1000. I screwed up, and today's a bad day to have that happen because I really wanted the 200 and 600 since I already have like 6 diamond stones. I really wanted the 200 more aggressive. Accidentally bought this. It's $38 on Amazon. Still super great company. This is a diamond plated stone. Still very much worth it. Just the stones I already have. I already have 1,000. I already have a 320, so I didn't need this. I didn't need anything, but I wanted a 200 to get some of this work done. Um, and let me show you how important that is today. With this thing, whew, just a straight tear. Yeah, yeah. This thing is as blunt as they get, and let's see if we can get some lights over here. Yeah, it looks like he hit it with a belt sander or something of the like more than once. So we'll see if we can get this as sharp as he's ever had it then. Here's our first scratch pattern. Um, I think I'm a little rusty, and also I think that this edge is not uniform. It's all junked up from improper sharpening. And so the combination of the two is giving us a very unpretty edge. I think that's pretty okay. I think another thing might be my stone is brand new. Diamond stones have a break-in period. They're a lot more aggressive the first few sharpenings. I usually find that they break in after two, and I can already feel it. This right here feels like a 400, and this right here feels like a 200. It's already starting to break in, and so I'm getting inconsistencies through the stone, but that's all right. So everybody on YouTube, when you sharpen a knife, tells you to leave it down and lift your elbow to get the tip. Yeah, fantastic. Works great, especially something like this. You lift up your elbow, you get the tip, or even, bury it on a drop point's a better example. As you lift it up, you get to the tip and you're still going down with it. I'm not doing that here. I'm doing my very best to maintain the angle, but I'm rotating it slightly because if I just held it at my angle and lifted, now my scratch pattern is going a long ways with my tip, and I don't really want that. I don't like parallel lines with the edge. It weakens the edge and not how the knife is meant to be used. I forgot one of my viewers recommended I use Windex on my stones. Why not try that today? I got generic brand Great Value glass cleaner. Sorry, we're balling on a budget, but I'm sure it's all the same when it comes down to it. Should grab a towel too. Sheesh. My poor little monkey brain didn't think about how messy this thing was going to be. Here we go. All right. Got me a classic shop rag, cut up t-shirt. One thing I don't like about using any form of lubricant is when the stone's dry, you can easily see when your edge touches the stone. Sometimes that can be kind of hard when there's some lubricant in the way. First impressions, the only thing I noticed is it's easier to pass the knife over it, which I guess is a good thing, especially on something so dull. We're trying to remove so much material, not being so fatigued fighting the stone so much. Doesn't seem to be affecting how it's cutting, both neither positive nor negative. So I think I'll end up using it again, probably not super frequently because I like not having to be able to clean anything. So that's why I even use diamonds, because you can run them dry quite easily. Let's see this. We got to burr the whole length of the edge. Our scratch pattern we're missing right up here, but I'm not too worried about that. And it looks like we got a beautiful scratch pattern all the way up. And we have some faint underlying old scratches here. So again, I'm just trying to get this knife sharp. I really don't want to refurbish this entire thing for him. I feel like that'd almost be an insult, being a gift from his dad, something he carried every day. He's built memories with this and stories, and I feel like trying my best to polish it or get it back to brand new is almost like a screw you and every attempt that you tried to sharpen it and everything your dad did to this knife before he gave it to you. I mean, look at that. The finish is wearing off from him grabbing the thing. Definitely has a story behind it. Just check and see that the burr goes the whole length of the blade. We're missing the base slightly. Let's see the scratch pattern. Ooh, up on the tip of the edge, we're picking up. You see the white is where my new scratch pattern is, and that dark gray is where the old scratch pattern is. We're picking up too much. Here in the meat of the belly, we're doing a fantastic job, and it looks like we haven't even touched down here, which I can feel that. I'm stopping too soon because I don't want to skip over the stone and scratch here. See our Windex pulling up with a whole bunch of metal. Mm-hmm. That's looking great. We're able to bring our scratch pattern back. Oops. Looks like we have a little bit of feathering that we need to do there. It being out of focus is actually helping me point that out. A little bit of feathering we have to do because I was holding just here. So I'll have to feather that in. And still got to get to our base here. My knuckles are dragging on the table. I do have a stone holder, but I wanted to test this stone out um, with what it came with, which is this little pad. And it's doing a fantastic job of holding the stone still. I mean, doing a wonderful job at it. Okay, let's do some deburring passes. We're not going to knock the whole burr off. Let's see if we can get most of the meat off. And then we'll go on to our 1,000 grit side. I got in a small little, well, not even a wreck. I put a small dent in the work truck, and they had me turn it in to get repaired, and I had to get a rental then for doing work. And they gave me a Ridgeline, a Honda Ridgeline. I was cracking jokes. So this has been like going on for like 2 weeks. Trying to find a rental because everybody just doesn't have any cars that they can rent out. And I had made like 4 trips an hour during work days to go get this handled. And I get there, and this dude, let's just call him Nate because that's his name. Nate picks me up from the body shop, pulls up to the rental place, and I go, a flippin' range line. That's all I say, and you could just see his heart drop. You could hear it. And just doof. Goes, yeah. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I mean, I'm just making jokes because I don't like ridge lines, but this is a work truck, and even if it wasn't, it's a rental. Like, I appreciate your efforts. And he was so relieved. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm still gonna make jokes because it's a ridge line. He's like, I get it. Oh yeah, and then I get back to the office and they're all making fun of my ridge line, and I'm like, yep, my minivan with a truck bed. One thing I will say about it, they got this little watertight compartment in the bed. It's pretty sweet. It's a pretty deep tub, and like the size of a large cooler. I was like, heck yeah. I could put some stuff in there and not have it sit in the cab. Because on our work trucks, we got toppers, so we can put stuff in the bed. And I was like, I'm going to have to squeeze all this into the cab. We did something wrong. Not enough. It feels so wrong. I'll show you too. I did not expect it to cut paper at all. It feels dull. It feels wrong. I hate it. It is cutting, surprisingly, but to be honest, well, he doesn't watch my videos, so I'll be as honest as I want. I don't think this is very good steel either. I think I'm having a challenge because this belly's ridiculous, and I think this is cheap steel. I think it's an unhealthy mixture of both. It's a White Knuckle, I think, is the brand. Never heard of them. The sheet that came in was pretty sweet. I'll do some research on it. You guys want a pro gamer tip? Here's some tips from a pro nerfer. Rotary, the big old buffers that you would put on your desk, your bench top, and polish huge pieces of steel. Those things are the best for stropping. I tell you what. Oh yeah, especially if you don't have like a super hard steel. Like if you're trying to do that with like S110V, I have some profane words that I'm gonna say to you that I won't say on my channel. But you are not the smartest. But like doing that on cheaper metals, cheap stainless metals, like 9CR or 9CR 18 MOV. Oh yeah, she chooches. All right, this is a 1,000 grit on the same stone, obviously. And that's the great part about this stone for somebody who doesn't have any stones and wants to get into it. This was 38 bucks and change on Amazon, and you get two stones. And really, both the 320 and 1000, as well as the 200 and 600 stone, you only need one of these two, really. Or you can buy both for, almost $80 and get some wicked edges. But if you're like, yeah, I'm just getting into it and I want to see how I feel about diamond stones or feel about sharpening in general, one stone, you'll get a pretty dang sharp edge, get you a nice drop, and bam, there's your intro to freehand sharpening. Pretty sweet. I actually hate this. Like, it's alright. Give me another piece of paper. Give me this piece of paper. Come here, come here, come here. I've had a head cold for like 3 days, guys. I'm over it. Oh, shucks. Shrink this out. See? You see why I'm hating this? It's like mid. Let's keep doing some work. Maybe we can fix this. This thing is so difficult too. Like, I can't even put this in my fixed angled sharpener. That's what I like to do for knives that are super screwed up. Fixed angled sharpener, just to get that original angle mapped right back in. And I can just sit there and watch TV and just, run my sharpener down and not really pay attention to what I'm doing because it's fixed angle, can't be anything but. Look at that. Look at that. Focus, you son of a gun. Over here. Over here. Focus. There it goes. Yeah, we can see our deep scratches from the last sharpener. Some mild inconsistencies. Like I said, I'm a little rusty and this big belly's screwing me up. I'm not going to blame all of it on the knife. But this side is, oh wow. Worlds better. This side is also doing great. If that was a bug under my arm, I was going to burn this house down. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of right here where we didn't get the scratch pattern all the way in, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's the end of the world. I've been binge watching Hoarders. Y'all ever think about why we don't have shows like that anymore? What was the other one we used to have? Extreme Cheapskate. That's the one. We don't have Hoarders or Extreme Cheapskate anymore. Why is that? You know those people are still out there in the world. I really hate this. The worst part is I'm sitting here thinking, I want to just hit it with a ceramic. But I have said it myself. If you can't get cutting paper sharp off 1,000, you have no business going up. I can't visually see why this knife isn't sharp. And I had the burr all the way to the edge on both sides. It is frustrating to say the least. So we cut a hair. Sorry guys, you didn't miss much actually. We cut a hair. And it's stuck on my stone. Grody. There we go. During our break I missed you. No. During our break, I was thinking about how I have become a semi-professional knife sharpener now. I mean, professional means you get money, but close enough. Um, and I have tried out 4 different diamond stone brands. So I'm not gonna say I'm a wizard and I know everything. Yeah. But I will tell you guys, in my opinion, uh, let's see here. Ultra Sharp, really love their low grit stones. Their higher grit stones are a little annoying. Seems like they're a little harder to maintain, but I'm sure Rubber Racer will take it up. Still worth the buy. This one here is the Sharp Ball. So far, loving it. Haven't really gotten a good break-in period on it, so to be determined really if I do end up still loving it. But I got a feeling I'm gonna like it. The Good Job, the one I recommended earlier in the previous video, is fantastic for the price. I think I've lost a lot of diamonds, but I also absolutely abused that thing because I was sharpening my knives, my friends' knives. There's a time I took it into work, slammed it on the toolbox, and people brought in boxes of knives, and I spent 8 hours sharpening knives. So, so it is it is a fantastic deal for what it is. But don't be sitting here thinking, I'm going to buy that. It'll be the only knife sharpener I ever need, and I'll sharpen 78,000 knives every day. No, no. If you have one pocket knife, buy it. It'll last you your life. But if you are like me and you have a collection, no. The only one I really don't like is this here, Dia Sharp Focus. This thing is so goofy. Dia Sharp, anyways. This is their extra fine, and I still have not broken this thing all the way in, and yet it feels like it does absolutely nothing. It is extra fine, so uh, take it with a grain of salt. Not really supposed to do much, but just the break-in of this thing, it feels wrong. Right here is super smooth. While I will go and hold it as best as I can all the way off, so the knife can go all the way, and I'll hit a stone right here, like a full, like hitting a rock on a skateboard, kind of hitting a stone. And it's like, no. My thought process: this thing should be thoroughly broken by now. It is infuriating. Just like the tip of this knife, it is. That belly threw me off, and this tip is not as sharp as the rest of the knife. For price comparison, I'm sorry, but oh, look at that. That went great. If you're talking about price per stone, the Good Job is a fantastic deal. The Ultra Sharp was a gift, so I don't know what they cost. The Dia Sharp was pretty expensive. That's why I got a small one. Sorry, I've been fighting that cold. And then the Sharp Ball so far has been a fantastic deal. This is the only knife I've sharpened on it, but a wonderful deal. Okay, beautiful. We have gotten somewhere. Not far, but somewhere. Doing good, doing good. Woo, woo. We're getting close to hair popping. We are getting close. If you wonder if your coworkers are fans of knives, check their left arm. If their left arm doesn't have any hair, then they are fans of knives. If their right arm doesn't have any hair, then they're either really weird or a lefty, and both of those people are people you don't want to be around. So I'm sad to say that I'm still sick. I really don't want to. So you can see the tip got neglected. I mean, it's still, well, thanks for making me look like a twit. It's still really sharp, but I don't want to be in this room anymore. I want to go lay on my couch and watch TV. And so, and I also know this guy. We've been carpooling. He's a pretty cool guy. Uh, so I know he's going to be happy with this. I'll just tell him the truth, like, hey, I was still fighting that cold, and I didn't want to go insane. Just use it up, get it dull, and I'll do the rest. I had another one. I made the video about it. Another one like that. It was the when I sharpened two 9CR 18 MOV knives, and one of them was a Kershaw for some buddies at church. Um, and yeah, I did my best on the Kershaw, but I had to leave it as is because I was going to take so much material out. I was going to reduce the life of the blade because I had some deep chips, and you could barely notice the chips. Like you could only notice it when you were shaving or cutting paper, like I do. So I told him, I was like, this isn't a perfect edge, but use it, get it dull again, and then I'll make it a perfect edge. That way you can use this sharp edge here because it was enough to catch your nail. It really wasn't bad. So the way he uses knives for opening boxes, cutting zip ties, stuff like that, he wasn't even going to notice it, and it was going to be perfectly fine. So that might be the issue here. I just tell him, hey, next time you get dull, I'll sharpen again. And I'm not charging these people, so I feel a little less bad about not doing the most immaculate, perfect job because you're getting this work for free. If I was charging you, I would absolutely do the best of my abilities to make this knife brand new and better. Sorry, I didn't introduce this. This is our classic ultra sharp 2200 grit stone, one we use all the time. I love the size of this, too. That's another thing if you're out there stone shopping, get you a big stone. This is about 6 inches, 7 inches by maybe 3, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't know. I am still a man, so take it with a grain of salt when I say how big something is. Probably gonna have to cut that out. I try to make a pretty family-friendly channel. Try to make a pretty family-friendly channel. So I usually don't say bad things, but I've had to cut a lot of things out of this one because I have I have a headache. Perfect timing on that, and I'm tired. I just got off of work today. Just want to get this knife done for him. I've had it for 2 days. Like I said, I carpool with this guy, and I feel kind of bad just getting in this truck and being like, hey, don't have your knife, by the way. That 2200 saved us. We got our nick there it's right where we're doing our turn and push. So it's not the best method. We'll have to come up with something else next time we get a knife like this. It's not super rare to find a shape like this. I have one myself. It's only like that big though. And oh man, I haven't touched that thing in like 5 years because I don't skin much. I don't hunt much. I don't own land to hunt. I have no problem hunting. What's your guys' favorite video game? Drop it in the comments. Mine is Minecraft. I'm a 24-year-old man. I'm still tearing up Minecraft. I haven't played it since like the new cushion update or the sulfur cube. I hate the sulfur cube update. Oh my. Give us an end update. We don't need more trash in the mines. I hate the sulfur cube update. You can't even like I watch a lot of it on YouTube too, and I see what other people build. Nobody's built anything cool with the sulfur cube update. NASA, pretty sure, fact check me on this because I might be wrong, but NASA used the creaking to make an eye tracker, technically a cursor tracker, in game. And I was like, now that is something you can do that's really cool. Sure, it's a lot of redstoning and not practical, but still something really cool you can do. What you can do with the sulfur cube? Oh, you can make a geyser. Oh, fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, great. Because we don't have wind charges or anything else that do the exact same job. I was like Call of Duty World War II. I put on World War II, put on a bunch of bots, and enjoy the guns. I like the World War II guns. Um, One thing I don't like about Call of Duty is you pay $70 for a game, then you get some whiz on there who's been living that for his whole life because all he does is drive his girlfriend to work in her car and then drop her off and go back home and play Call of Duty. And it's like I don't want to have to compete in that world. Sorry. You know, I would rather just put some bots on and have a nice relaxing time, enjoying the guns, enjoying you know the campaign. Oh, campaigns are so underrated. Call of Duty Ghosts had that on my Wii U, over a decade ago, and that campaign was so much fun. I don't need to play the new one. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks about it, but I don't game enough to justify spending the money. Anyways, back to our knife while we're here. Wicked sharp. So we're gonna clean our stones up and pop onto the strop. Strop sisses. 5 micron on the Amazonian knockoff strop. Works great. This is my first strop like this. My first strop was just a leather belt that I cut down, and my dad owns a body shop, so I put some polishing compound that you would use on paint on it, and it worked great. So, there's an idea for you guys. A big issue you're going to get into, though, is if the more money you spend on knives, the more money you have to spend on sharpening apparatuses, or at least more research. Like the Work Sharp field sharpener is a $40 sharpener and has diamond stones and a ceramic rod. So like you can sharpen any steel with that, even tungsten carbide in theory. I don't recommend it, but it is doable. But when you're talking about like your Harbor Freight ones that are just stones, water stones, I have at least 5 knives that are so hard you can't you can't do anything productive with it because you end up just ripping the metal up instead of really cutting it and giving you a high performance edge that you want. Doing fantastic still. It's pretty funny to me because in all reality, I'm sitting in an empty house talking to myself. Dead silence. Dead silence. I'm just sitting here babbling while I'm sharpening a knife. And if anybody breaks in my house, that's got to be a little concerning. Just hear somebody talking, and you go in the room, and just a dude sharpening a knife talking to himself. Okay, we finished with our 2 micron. On the flip side of this one, we're transitioning over to this here Angerstone, recommended to me by a viewer. He has his own YouTube channel. Oh man, I can't remember his channel. I called him out, not called him out, shouted him out in another video, and I only have like 8 videos, so you can scroll through them and find him if you want. Cool guy, go check him out. But he said, get you a strop and good compound. Good compound is stupid expensive. Fun fact. So this is Chinesium that my mom bought me for Christmas. Um, this one actually told you, it said 10,000 written on it. This is our zero point 0.1 micron. It said something like that. It was like 0.1 micron, 100,000 grit, something crazy. This one was in straight Chinesium, and I had no idea. All of my compounds are like that. Funny enough, like my 5 micron is a syringe full of paste that says 5 micron on it. That's it. And then my 2 microns, an entirely Russian. I actually had to go back to the list to the purchase and see what micron it was, and I wrote in Sharpie on top of it 2 micron because it was completely in Russian. I didn't know what it was. So we're gonna start off. Here is 1 micron diamond compound, but I did take his word and got this strop, and it is fantastic. I love it. I use it. I used it on my 14C 28N Trilobite by Petrified Fish. and that thing was my second ever hair whittling sharp knife. My first quickly doled out because I think I was just running on the burr. So that is my most successful sharpen I've ever had, and I'll give partial credit to him for recommending this. Yeah, for sure. One thing I found in my experience is anybody who's learning to sharpen knives goes to YouTube and finds one dude they like, and they take everything he has as everything he says as scripture, and then they're gonna stumble across another dude and another dude. And anybody I've seen get into sharpening, myself included, they quickly become a collage of 17 different YouTubers' point of views when it comes to sharpening. And I think that's one beautiful way of it is it's a pretty clear goal. We have a chunk of steel. We want it to cut something as effectively as possible. And then there's 100 ways to do it. Like I've seen old timers who sharpen their case knives one way because it's the fastest way and they're just out there whittling, so they don't really care. I've seen Neve knives, outdoors uncut, or yeah, I think that's outdoors uncut. Um, Peterbilt knife guy. I don't know if he's ever made a sharpening video. He just uh, shows off how sharp his knives are. Pretty crazy some of the things he does because Peterbilt knife guy. Um, I don't watch him as much anymore, but he used to have like nail test Saturday, and he'd take huge, just machetes worth of fixed blades, and would cut nails in half with them. And then he'd take other stuff too. Like he started out with buck knives because Buck used to make an ad about that. He did it with one of these. Um, really cool stuff too. I mean, yeah, I'm not cutting nails, but it's nice to know that my knife is tough enough to handle something like that. It's I don't want to know if my knife can handle the practicality because the one time it slips and I hit a piece of steel, or the one time I go into a cut and roll, twist a little bit, and it snaps in half. Practicality is only in a perfect world. Let's test out the shave sharp. We've gotten to hair popping. The last quarter inch, half inch is definitely far from perfect, but this is substantially better than the baseball bat that he handed me one morning and asked me to sharpen. So I think that's going to be a wrap. Oh, before we get to the wrap, let me show you the sheath, right? Let's talk about the knife a little bit more. So I looked it up, and turns out this is a D2 blade steel, which I wish I looked up before I started working on it, um, because D2 I would not have taken it this high of a polish. Not a very good one though. Look at that. But I saw a skinning knife, and so skinning knife I sharpened. D2 I probably would have stopped at the 1,000 grit, but it is an interesting brand. Goes for $225. I'm not a fan of this blade shape enough to have paid that myself, but that is personal preference. And clearly, it has served this guy well, and he has loved it, used it, and abused it. So clearly, it is worth it to him and in his view. I just don't like the blade shape is my thing, but that once again is uh, personal preference. As says nothing about the knife. Really, it looks like it's done a fantastic job for him. Here's our sheath. It's a white knuckler. I forget the model, but yeah, made in the USA. Heavy duty stitching, heavy duty leather. And here you get a little extra carry it sideways belt loop. Pretty sweet that they considered that. I thought it was kind of strange that they put a rivet here and then stitches up. You think that they would stitch it all the way and rivet all the way, but um, you can see stains on this thing. It's molded to the knife. Like you can tell this thing has been around the block and seen some things, and it still has no signs of tearing or cutting in the leather. So very much a durable knife. very much a good buy if that is what you were looking for. Very much worth it. Um, they still have a website. That's where I was able to look it up to find my research. But there you go. We sharpened our white knuckler skinning knife in D2. Be sure to check in for the next video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day, guys.